Physicochemical characteristics of a microfiltered 0.4% Trypan Blue solution when applied to the anterior capsule. I'm Richard Packard, the author. This paper was published in the Journal of Cataract and Refractive Surgery in June 2025. Following our publication in the May edition of JCRS highlighting the Trypan Blue capsule landmark, we had a number of inquiries as to particular properties of the Trypan Blue solution that was used. It therefore seemed appropriate to write this letter to clarify the matter. Trypan Blue vital stain has been used in cataract surgery since 1999 to enhance the visibility of the anterior capsule when a red reflex may be absent or impaired, or for simply improved visibility during cataract surgery. It is estimated that worldwide over 3 million cases of cataract surgery use this dye, around 10 to 12%. Trypan Blue has generally been used in a formulation of 0.06%. Stadalka et al. Have shown that a solution of microfiltered 0.4% Trypan Blue, CAPSULBLUE, can be used to safely and efficaciously stain the capsule and to provide a target for a 590 nanometer laser beam to create anterior capsulotomies. We will now describe the characteristics and behavior of this 0.4% solution of Trypan Blue when it is applied to the anterior capsule, its staining, its temporary retention in the capsule, and its subsequent washout. Srinivasan published a study which used high-performance liquid chromatography, HPLC, to measure peak purity of Trypan Blue contents of soluble monoazo dyes and assay purity. What were Srinivasan's findings? Purity varied between 86% and 97%. Monoazo dyes content varied between 0.2% and 5.2%. Assay purity of 30% to 187% measured Trypan Blue purity relative to the label. This variability reflects the source of Trypan Blue material used as an active ingredient. It varies from a 40% purity for histology grade stain to high purity grade with a greater than 80%. pH varied from 7.3% to 9.1%, and osmolality from 175 to 1043 milliosmoles per kilogram. The Trypan Blue used to stain the capsule in our recently reported study was 0.4% solution, commercial product, CAPSULBLUE. As this was not included in the review by Srinivasan, it is worth comparing the key metrics using third-party independent measurement of several syringes of 0.4% microfiltered ophthalmic Trypan Blue solution. DORC and our lab Trypan Blue solutions were also measured. The metrics independently measured for CAPSULBLUE showed a purity of greater than 98%, a pH between 7.1 and 7.2%, an osmolality between 300 and 320 milliosmoles per kilogram, and monoazo dyes at less than 0.1%. Aqueous humor has a pH of 7.2%, an osmolality of 304 milliosmoles per kilogram, so it's very close to what you'll see in CAPSULBLUE. The results for Vision Blue and Oralab Trypan Blues were as found by Srinivasan in his study. Significantly, the extremely low percentage of impurities for the 0.4% solution are coupled with the smaller volume, representing a substantial reduction in monoazo dyes dose and other impurities. Srinivasan did not report on the insoluble impurities that are present, as these are not detectable in HPLC. Some particulate matter is observed in unfiltered Trypan Blue solutions, and we'll see this in Figure 1, comparing filtered and unfiltered dye solutions. So here we have Figure 1. A is a 0.4% microfiltered solution. B is standard 0.06% ophthalmic Trypan Blue, and you can see that there is a difference between the two of them on this magnified ground glass slide. On the left, there's a more intense staining with no sign of particulate matter, whilst on the right, in specimen B, you can see quite clearly that there is less staining and more particulate matter. The intensity of the higher concentration is easily seen. The presence of particular undissolved Trypan Blue or impurities is present in the unfiltered sample. The delivery technique for the best use of 0.4% solution is predicated on its specific gravity being greater than aqueous. This means that when it is slowly applied towards the anterior capsule, it settles there rather than mixing with the aqueous, giving a lower concentration. Although the concentration of this dye is higher at 0.4%, this does not affect the dose, i.e. the number of molecules used. Capsule Blue has a comparable dose with other less concentrated approved Trypan Blue products. This offers surgical advantages for rapid staining and precision of dye delivery to the target tissue. First, it has been shown that a 0.4% solution stains the anterior capsule 4 times faster than standard dyes to achieve the same intensity of dye absorption of visible stain. This means that a 5 to 10 per second exposure time is needed for the 0.4% solution to achieve a stain equivalent to other Trypan Blues for 40 to 60 per seconds, as we shall see in Figure 2. And here we are in Figure 2, and you can see that there is a huge difference between the stain intensity compared to time between standard 0.6% solution and 0.4% solution. Here are some white cataracts with the capsule stained for 60 seconds. A is microfiltered 0.4% and B is 0.06% Trypan Blue solution. You can see the marked difference. So what help does the stained capsule actually offer during your surgery? Well, obviously during capsulotomy, because you can see it much more readily. Phacoemulsification to avoid snagging the capsule, particularly when you're chopping. Similarly during IA, and when implanting the IOL to make sure that the lens is in the bag. During surgery, the intensity of the visible dye decreases. Postoperatively, it continues to be watched out with aqueous humor through the uveoscleral and trabecular outflow pathways. The measured washout half-life is similar for both 0.4% and 0.06% concentrations, and it is less than 30 minutes, and visible staining has dispersed by 2 hours, as demonstrated in Figure 3. Here we can see 2 photographs. A, during surgery, 5 minutes after application of the dye, and B, postoperatively, 90 minutes following the dye application, in this case with intracameral triamcinolone acetonide having been applied during the surgery. In conclusion, as demonstrated, Trypan Blue solutions are not the same. Concentrations vary from 0.06% to 1%. The amount delivered to the eye is volume dependent, i.e. Vision Blue and Capsule Blue deliver similar amounts of Trypan Blue. Measurements of HPLC assay purity, pH and osmolality show marked differences across available products. Capsule Blue has the greatest HPLC and assay purity, a pH similar to aqueous, and washes out of the eye within 2 hours.